Yo, what's going on everyone? Guiding Light here, and in this video, I'm going to talk to you guys about the fastest ways which you can farm pure energy residue. Now, this is one of the highest level resources in the game that unfortunately you're going to need a bunch of to craft different ultimate descendants and weapons along the way. So, very quickly, I'm going to show you guys the best route in order to get the fastest amount of these materials. Now, there's going to be a bunch of different ways, and I'll discuss the other ways here towards the end of the video, but this is just going to be the outright fastest way if you guys are trying to get this done. Now, in order to get this material, it will only drop on one destination, and that is Fortress. So you will have to make sure you're on Fortress when doing this. Another thing, if you want to make this the fastest way possible, is to go and get a bunch of code activators, because unfortunately, the fastest way of doing this is going to be the encrypted storage boxes. Now, one benefit is that there has been a recent update to the game where now every time that you spawn in, it's guaranteed that you're going to find at least one of the storage boxes. They made it so that the spawn rate is basically 100%, and so it shouldn't take as much loading back and forth as it used to previously. Now, either way, you will still need those precision code breakers, or at least a few of them, and if you want to do it the fastest way. And so all you're going to have to do is fast travel into Fortress. You're going to spawn in and begin to scan your area, and just like the other encrypted vaults, if you're trying to farm for Kuiper or on any other location, you will have to listen out for that beep, and also be on the lookout for those holograms that pop up to give you guys more hints as to where you can find them. Now, if you follow the route that I proceed to make in this video, it almost always will spawn in these general areas, and depending on the rarity of the chest you open will depend on the amount of residue you get. So sometimes you'll get less than more just depends on the level of chest you open. Another thing to keep in mind when doing this is to make sure you are running on hard. So that was the lowest level box you could possibly get, is that white one, and then it's going to scale up. There's the blue ones, the purple ones, the precisions, the ultra precisions, and it really is just going to depend, and it's going to be random depending on which ones spawn in. So that's one of the spawn locations you can spawn into and check. There's also a few other locations though that we can go to and look around for these encrypted storage boxes. Now there's also a few different missions you can clear in Fortress which will drop these residue. However, it's just not the same amount, and so it may take longer to complete, but at least you don't have to go through the residues. You don't have to worry about having Enzo or just mindlessly searching for these boxes. You can just start up a mission and you'll be able to get the residue off of a specific enemy in that mission. But that in itself does take a lot longer, so I want to show you guys the fastest way possible first. We'll just proceed to do a quick check of all of these areas. Once you've checked the first one, you can rotate onto this second one. Now, we got pretty lucky with the first one. There were two that spawned there. You could just repeatedly go back to that spawn if you want, but in my opinion, I don't like doing that method because you have to continuously go back to Albion, then load back in, or go to a different area, then back to that one. But if you just simply rotate around the map, you do basically in one lap, you can check all of these areas in a few minutes, and it doesn't take very long at all. So you will want to come over here and check this area as well, as there are multiple that can spawn in all of these different caves. Just be sure to keep scanning the area. One tip I can give you is that if you're facing in the direction of the chest, you will continue to hear the beep. But if you are not facing in the same direction, you will no longer hear it. And that's pretty much the only way you can find them. So once you've found the spawn point once or twice, you can usually find it pretty quickly. But if you've never done the route before, it can be a little bit confusing when going into some of these new areas. But as you can see, I got 14 residue from that box, and then you can just simply respawn and just continue to check more. There's actually a second one which can spawn up here as well. So very quickly you could actually knock this out, get these two chests done, and get a ton of residue. Now, if you guys don't want to go this route, I very quickly will show you guys the few different missions which you can run over on Fortress in order to get these materials. Just keep in mind when running these missions that only one monster in the mission will drop it. It's always going to be the elite or the yellow health bar enemy that drops these materials. So if you miss it, or you just or the drop falls off the map or something, because that has happened to me in the past, the drops will be gone. There's really nothing you can do besides restart the mission again. And so it takes a little bit more repetitiveness. You can constantly be doing the same mission again and again. And in my opinion, that can be a lot more boring than searching for some of these chests. So what you would have to do is continuously run this explosive debris mission, and then sometimes it's not even a guarantee that you will get those drops either, and so it can take quite a bit of time. Now, there are a few different missions you can do on Fortress. You don't have to do this one here called explosive debris. You can also go and do the heart of the fortress or quarantine zone as well. but those missions take a lot longer. So hopefully this video helps you guys out to collect these materials that you need, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.